Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting session on Unacademy CAT-alyst. In today's session, we have two of the finest minds from SIDTM Pune, and both of them are PPO holders, Saud and Vishnu. So we will get to know about their story, about their success story, and a success story for a lot of aspirants, a lot of CAT aspirants who probably 2 years down the line would also want to have a PPO. So I will talk about all their journey right from their MBA, their journey in their college, and obviously they ask them their success stories, the secrets to their success. So I think without wasting any time, we can get started. Saud and Vishnu, welcome to today's session on Unacademy. Welcome both of you. Good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you.
Okay, so Saul and Vishnu, probably let's get started. And a lot of aspirants are watching this session live and will also watch them recorded, right? So, and a lot of them will have the first thing. Please introduce yourself. Saul, I'll start with you. Tell me something about yourself.
So, just something about me. I grew up in Saudi Arabia. I did my schooling there. After which, I moved back here to Mumbai, and I did my graduation here. Uh, I did my graduation in Bachelor of Science, specializing in information technology. After which, directly I decided to pursue my MBA from SIDTM, and currently now I'm a second year student.
That's good to know. What about Vishnu? Can you also tell us something about your exciting journey?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing great, and above all, hope you're all safe. My name is Vishnu Sudeesh, and to give a brief overview about myself, I'm a Keralite, born in Kerala, brought up in Bangalore. I did my graduation in electrical and electronics engineering from Bangalore itself, post which I was campus placed in an IT firm, wherein I was working as a programmer analyst in production support field for about 19 months. And after which, just like any students who wanted to get into Symbiosis University, I wrote my SNAP exam. And currently, I'm pursuing my MBA at Symbiosis Institute of Digital and Telecom Management. And I'm a second year student as well.
That's good to know. That's really great to know. So, also, Vishnu, can you tell us something about your MBA journey till now?
Okay, so my MBA journey was filled with a lot of learnings, challenges, obstacles, and to add on to that, even the fun part. So a life of an MBA graduate, right? It is just like a action-packed story. Every day there is one or the other thing. Like there are tons of assignments, presentations, and this is we are doing along with our our regular day classes from 9 to 5 and 9 to 6. Now, apart from that, we know that MBA is not just about the bookish knowledge. It's all about networking and finding your connections. And for this, we have a lot of case studies, a lot of leadership talks, guest lectures, and a lot of inter-B school competitions. So when I tell you that there was a lot of learnings which happened in my MBA journey, and this is coming to the academics, and now coming to the fun part. I've never been in hostel in my life. This is the first time I'm being in a hostel environment, and I need not explain you how what happens in the hostel environment because you know every day it's something new. Entire night no sleeping, discussions, being in the library for about 3 to 4 a.m. and then late night chai and Maggie. So in this way, there are a lot of these details, which made my life in MBA a really good thing. And apart from that, one thing I can guarantee you that is that when a student graduates from an MBA program, there are two qualities that he'll be champ at. One is multitasking and one is time handling. So to top up everything, we have this beautiful campus. SIDTM is, located in the Symbiosis Hilltop campus, which is very magical and it is almost like a paradise. So when you combine all these different things, I'm very happy that I'm part of SIDTM, and my MBA journey has been a really good part till now.
That is really great to know. I mean, obviously, we know a lot of aspirants, right? The thousands of us, or probably lakhs of us, dream symbiosis, and they look forward to it as one of their B schools, and you're already in one of them, right? So yeah, I can imagine how exciting your journey till now can be. Saud, what about you? Can you also tell us something about your exciting MBA journey?
So, of course, MBA has been an intense learning experience for the past year. And like Vishnu said, we have this beautiful campus, so you're completely immersed in this journey for 24 hours straight. And what I did was what I had to do rather as a fresher to stand out was challenge myself every day, put myself in situations that made me uncomfortable. For example, public speaking. I was an introvert before, and I made it a point to participate in as many things as possible. So those things combined with the hectic schedule, they really make you ready to work in any corporate because that level of multitasking helps you in any industry you choose to go to.
Perfect. Definitely. I completely agree with you. Okay. I know that both of you are PPO holders, right? Vishnu, I'll start with you. Okay. You have done your internship with one of the finest SaaS industries, right? And we know that probably in the SaaS industries, could have come across directly from a B school to a corporate world. You must have faced a lot of challenges. Could you tell the audience a bit about the challenges so that they are better prepared to face the challenges in advance?
Sure, Parikshit. So I did my internship in a cloud-based company which is into a CRM platform. So I still remember my internship started in the month of April, somewhere around April end, and it was a duration for about 2 months. But then the greatest fear at that time was the unprecedented lockdown. So we know that it was in the crux of the lockdown at that period. The count was getting increased, and the organizations were being shut down, and people were not allowed to work as well. So in that way, the first major fear which I had was the internship being cancelled. But then I was very happy and very lucky, as a matter of fact, because the company and the organization reassured me, stating that they will do anything and everything from their side to make the internship possible. So I'm glad that I could be a part of this organization and contribute to that. So now the major challenge which I faced in my internship is probably what every corporate or every employee would have faced. So now in a situation where they know that we are students and we are still learning. So in case of any doubts, in case of any shortcomings, if you are an in office premise or an on location premise, you could just go to any of your peers, or go to the other side of the room and just ask the doubts. But here, the one situation, what I faced is that the decision making and the level of and the knowledge transfer, right, that got delayed because of the virtual program. So you should need to know when corporates are available, when my peers are available, when my manager and mentor are available, and you should all bring them together so that you can conduct a successful meet, and then we can talk about other learnings and the other outcomes. But then that was one major drawback which I felt. But then it is just like the two sides of a coin. Everything has its pros and cons. The main pro about this virtual internship, what happened was this limitless expansion. So, I could just connect to my colleagues in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, with just a link away. So there was this many times, wherever leadership activities had happened, and I was so impressed by that, and with just a link away, I could just connect with them, and they could take 15 minutes from the busy schedule and explain it to me about whatever the learnings were. So in that way, everything has a pros and cons, but then based on our day-to-day activities, interacting with the peers was a problem which I faced.
Okay, okay. Yeah, definitely. This pandemic had changed the way we operate, right? And obviously, initial
Exactly.
hiccups we all come across, but it's good to know that you successfully overcome them, right? Yeah, Saud. Saud, for you, right? I know that we all know that you have done your internship in a very niche area. So when we talk about MBA aspirants, right, they say that they want to do their MBA in marketing, finance, HR, but a lot of them are probably not aware of even niche areas like content marketing. And this is something where you specialize, and this is something where you actually have done your internship in, right? So can you tell us more about content internship and how important it is marketing when it comes to a new product or a service?
So, content marketing is basically creating a narrative, a story for your brand, one that makes your brand feel authentic and engaging to the audience. It can be anything of your social media postings, your podcast, and such, your newsletters, the new one, which boosts conversion and increases. The main crux of it is showing your consumers that this is how you solve your problems. And as far as just to add on to Vishnu's point, to give you a contrast about the work from home environment, what I felt personally was, since this was my first corporate job, I felt work from home really eliminated those uh, physical walls or metaphorical walls that you would have interacting with from someone, let's say from the higher management. It was a very open environment. I could just ping someone on Slack or whatever and start interacting with them because the fear of knocking on your boss's door is not present. So it really opens up, and as Vishnu said, you can interact with anyone from the anyone from the global team at any point in time. Just look into their Slack channel, not necessarily even from your department. Just pop in there, see what's going on, get a feel of the culture, get a feel of the company. So that is what I felt was a few of the pros of the work from home environment.
That's good to know. That's a very interesting answer, I'd rather say. Right. Okay. So we are all talking about this work from home environment. Okay. And you have done, both of you have converted your PPOs, have converted, actually got offers, right? And now, when we come back to your institute, these 2 years must have been a great learning experience. Now, in today's world, digital is the buzzword, right? Digital is the buzzword. So how did your institute, how did SIDTM, right, prepare you for the challenges, especially when I come to some of the buzzwords that are going around: automation, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, right? So, with respect to these three words, which are very key areas in today's world, how did your institute prepare you to face the challenges and make your life easy in the corporate world?
So yeah, Parikshit, if you just go 10 years back, uh, so in 10 years back, humans were at the center and technologies were revolving around the humans. But right now, what we see is that, technology is like the sun and we are revolving around the planets. We are revolving around the technology. So we have to cope up with this latest technology. Every day is changing. So by latest technology, I mean artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, your augmented reality, big data, and so on. So one thing is, we have to keep upskilling ourselves. And the second thing is when it comes into the industry curriculum and SIDTM, uh, SIDTM offers a perfect fit for a technology and a managerial perspective. So when I talk about these technologies like AI and ML, these subjects are being taught in our college in the second semester itself, that is in our junior batch. And apart from that, we have a very niche specialization called analytics and finance, wherein students are taught about prescriptive analytics, predictive, and descriptive analytics. And apart from that, we have partnered with IBM company as well for an IBM Watson workshop labs. And right now, for a business analyst or a data analyst role, one of the major tools that is required is Python and Tableau and Power BI. And so these kind of tools are being taught in a very in-depth level to the students. And it is not just in the final sem; it starts from the second sem itself. And apart from that, when you talk about coding, right, I think nowadays even managers need to know the technical aspects of any situation. So in terms of R programming and Python, these subjects are being taught for the students. And apart from that, since you told the word digital, since we have the word digital incorporated into our college name, we have it just not the name actually. We have specific courses that also is included in our college curriculum. So in terms of cyber security, the digital risk management, digital transformation, and digital forensics. So these kind of subjects are being taught to students who have taken system specializations. So in this way, what I would suggest is that if any students who wanted to, make a career out of, a techno managerial position, I would say that SIDTM is the right and best fit for your career.
Yeah, as you rightly pointed out, right, 10 years back, we could not even have dreamt about the curriculum that is being taught today in some of the best institutes in the country. And we talked about digital, we talked about machine learning, you talked about automation, artificial intelligence. These were probably terms which are all buzzwords, but never taught as a subject. And it's really great to know that today these are actually taught as a curriculum, because I'm sure that once you get an exposure, once these are taught to you for 2 years, life in a corporate world is really easy, right? And it is really good to
Exactly.
know that you actually have the skills being developed over a period of time. That's very good to know. So, right, for you, you have converted a PPO. You are now in the verge of entering the corporate world, right? And a lot of B school aspirants often have this question in mind. I want to pursue a career in MBA, in marketing, MBA marketing, right? But then I don't know what skills I need to develop. There are probably some things I can do and put it on my resume so that I am distinguished from the crowd, right? So, what would you suggest? What would be your advice for all these CAT or MBA aspirants? What is that thing which they can do differently? What is that thing, or what are those things which they can do differently? Probably some certifications, some hand-on experience, so that they are distinguished from the crowd and it becomes easy for them to enter the corporate world, or for that matter, get a PPO like you.
Right. So, certifications and knowledge about SEO and SEM and such is a given and is expected from everyone basically at this point, given how digital we are. All these tools and CRM tools, organizations will expect you to use it.
So
But
if I may interpret, okay. So probably you can expand these acronyms for the viewers. Some of them might not be aware of these acronyms, right? It would be
So
great if you
SEO means search engine optimization, and SEM means search engine marketing. So this is essentially what happens when you Google search a keyword and the results that pop up. To make sure your brand stands out in the first two or three searches, and making sure the rankings are better. This is something that is given, and a basic knowledge I believe all marketers should have of SEO. Uh, Moving on from that, as you said, what makes you stand out from the crowd? I believe that a core part of marketing is in ensuring that you observe and learn from your surroundings. For this, you need to have a very research-based approach and know how to research properly. Here at SIDTM, what we do is we have business simulations and case studies approaches. This forces us to think on our feet and make decisions creatively. I believe above all, creativity is the thing that makes you stand out as a marketer.
That's a wonderful answer. That's a wonderful answer, actually. Okay. Okay. For the next question, right? I think this is a very interesting question. Vishnu, let me ask you this. Okay. So SIDTM, right? As something a very unique curriculum. It blends, it mixes technology with the management curriculum, right? So okay, so when it does that, it probably falls in a very niche area, technology and management, and which is something very important in today's world of the pandemic. Technology, we can't imagine a world without technology. So, okay, having said that, what kind of profiles can students expect in colleges where technology is taught along with management? And let's say if someone is a non-technical background, there might be someone who has absolutely no idea about technology, probably has done a BCom, probably has done English honors. So for such students, what advice would you give? Is SIDM a good college, or an optimal college for even students with a non-technical background?
Okay, I think to answer the first part of the question, we are a techno managerial school. So now, if you look into it, when I've told you before that there are two niche specializations that we have, that is systems and finance and analytics and finance. In both these specializations, finance being the minor and the systems and analytics being the major. So in terms of systems, we are dealing with digital risk management, digital forensics, digital transformation, something related to cybersecurity and telecom as well. And coming to analytics, I told you, you are into data analytics, prescriptive analytics, making business models, and then at the same time, you are being taught your programming languages like R and Python. Now, if you just focus on these two specializations and these two verticals, and the technologies associated with it. Now, if you just look into it, these technologies are being implemented in each and every sector possible. So now, if you think about transportation, if you think about healthcare, finance, your investment banking, telecom, retail, FMCG, all these are possible, and all the processes are optimized only because of these technologies. So now, when you're telling about the different sectors that the students can look into, is all sectors. Now, for example, if you're looking into autonomous vehicles, they have a lot of data analytics incorporated in that. So in that way, analytics plays a big picture in the future generation. And in terms of cybersecurity, I mean, there is a lot of email attacks and phishing and all these details, which is a usual activity right now. And this is not just in normal IT companies or whatever. It happens in healthcare, wherever data can be stolen. So in that way, these both sectors can be employed in each and every vertical of the normal industries. And at the same time, students can expect any profiles from these industries. And secondly, since the world is shifting to a different profile, the world is moving rapidly. Right now, we are into digital services, and many organizations have accepted work from home, that is permanent work from home, as well as there are people who have accepted till 2025 people can actually do work from home. So in these kind of case, many new roles can also be generated. So this is a very huge job providing opportunity, at least in technology side. And coming to your second part of the question, that is, how do non-technical students cope up with the technical scenarios? So in our students, in our colleges, let me explain you by giving an example about my batch. So we have a good amount of BCom students, in our batch. And if you compare to a junior batch, we have even more students in BCom, BA, Bachelor of Arts, and BBA as well. So what our college follows is, for the first 1.5 months, faculties provide a bridge class to these people, so that students can be well versed with the upcoming technology, at least the basic technologies like your wireless technology and basic information about telecom. And again, it is just like a two sides of a coin. So because I'm an engineer and I do not know much about finance, and as I've already told you that finance is our minor specialization. So for us, for the engineers, for the techie people, the finance faculties actually provide the bridge class to us. Give a basics about cost accounting, management accounting. So it is a two-way street. So the faculties provide a bridge class to the non techie people, and the finance faculties provide some common knowledge to us as well. So in this way, students need not fear that that they won't be relevant or they won't be a suitable fit in the college. And in this way, there is a healthy competition among students.
Correct. So, if I may summarize, right, a lot of you who aspire to do an MBA would say, okay, I aspire to do an MBA in finance, I aspire to do an MBA in marketing. But what you don't realize is probably you also do not have any exposure to finance or marketing at this point of time when you have done your graduation. Let's say you do not belong to a BCom graduate and you are an engineer, but you tell that, okay, you aspire to work in the investment banks. But other than the term, most of you probably do not know much about investment banking, right? So technology is also something you need not be worried. You might not be having a technical background, but I'm sure that what is learned in the taught in the B school is not technology per se. It's managerial technology. Technology which an aspiring manager or a budding manager needs to know, right? As a manager, to make business decisions, you need to make use of technology. And it is this part of the curriculum that will be taught in a B school, technical plus MBA plus your managerial skills, right? So I think this is what technical MBA is all about. Okay. Now, Saud, coming to you, right? Keep hearing the term marketing, but today's world there's a new buzzword. The new buzzword is technical marketing. What is technical marketing all about?
So technical marketing basically means marketing towards consumers who I would say have a brief idea about the product, but they require the specifics uh, attain those customers. You need to give them specific information. This is like niche markets. So these customers, they require in-depth information. So in technical marketing, you have to ensure that you follow the buyer's journey properly and give them all the required detailed information. And for that, you must be well acquainted with all the technical details of your product. This is not a general marketing thing where you just give an overview of the product and then that's done. This would come in handy in an area, let's say cybersecurity. You would have to know the details. You would have to know what are your USPs as compared to the competitors, and this will go in depth about the technical details of the product and service. So that is basically technical. You need to be basically a techno manager to get this right.
Perfect. I think perfectly summed up with that word, right?
Yeah.
Techno manager. That's the word I think we are all looking at. Techno manager, right? Okay, now we probably talked about broad skills, and there are also very niche skills, very specialized areas. Like let's take an example, cloud services, an upcoming area, and today cloud services was one of the most widely used areas, right? So okay, so when a student faces an interview, okay, how well does he need to equip himself with such specialized knowledge like cloud services?
So I'll take that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So cloud basically increasingly a number of organizations are migrating from your traditional legacy systems over to cloud systems. There are n number of advantages to this in terms of availability of having your data stored in uh, uh, basically giving better access to your data and having a more secure access, and most importantly, uh, it saves costs. So, as future leaders, since your organization's backbone is will be so heavily dependent on cloud, I think every future leader should be knowing about cloud in detail, so that they can take the right decisions for their organization. Uh, Here at SIDTM, we are an AWS certified partner institute. So we actually uh, uh, get a chance to learn about AWS, that is Amazon Web Services, and the services they provide, and the services, for example, which type of database you should be using for this type of organization, and such. So yeah, I think having a basic knowledge of cloud is important for future leaders.
So to add on to what Saud told, we are one of the few organizations in colleges in India that has partnered with AWS Academy. So as you told that, as Saud also told that, it is very relevant for students to know something about cloud because that is the future. And so what we do is, we have this lab provided by AWS, and the courses allotted by AWS. And once we finish that course, we are eligible for a certification by AWS itself. So in terms of placement perspective and knowledge wise, I think SIDTM is a perfect fit, for a cloud-based services as well. And apart from that, there are other cloud services like Azure and Google Cloud also. So when you're coming to Azure, that is listed by Microsoft. So again, our college is in talks with the industry experts, to schedule a session with the Microsoft Azure as well. So in that way, they're completely delving into the technical aspects as well. So in this way, like what Saud told, we can be the future techno managers.
Okay. So okay, so I get it, right? The tech importance of techno managers in today's world. Okay, yeah, definitely you are the future techno managers. But okay, let's look at the short term. Okay, let's look at the short term, and this pandemic has actually changed probably the entire placement process, if I may call out. Uh, a lot of students today, if you see LinkedIn and Facebook, a lot of students say that they are not getting a job. And if you open LinkedIn, you would have a lot of people asking for if there are any relevant job opportunities, or probably they have been laid out, right? Or the other way could be a lot of students from these schools are yet to be placed, or probably they got placed, but they did not receive an offer letter or a joining letter till late. Now, coming to this, okay, what do you think? How long would this pandemic last? Okay, that's probably question A. And B is it wise to do an MBA at this point of time? Because
That's
you spend so much money, right? The return on investment is what students look at. And if I'm not sure about how certain the economy would look, or probably the job scenario 2 years hence, I am not sure if I should take up an MBA at this point of time. What are your thoughts about it?
That's a very nice question. Yeah. So the thing is, yes. I mean, if you look into the time, at least in April, May, June. I mean, if you're going to LinkedIn, you can see a lot of unfortunate situations, like people telling that my offer letter has been revoked, or my date of joining hasn't been they haven't received the date of joining yet. But then what I would like to tell to everyone is that if you look at the situation right now, the situation has started getting better. I mean, if you look into LinkedIn right now, there are a lot of opportunities available. I mean, the number of requirements have actually been doubled as well if you keep following LinkedIn and Glassdoor. So to answer the first question, I think the situation has, I mean, it has stopped right now. At least the negative situation, and now they are going towards in a positive mindset. So just give it a couple of months, at least 2 to 3 months, because every organization has their own timelines. But once everything is set, at least when as I told you the tenure, like for example 2 months, I think the requirements will come. There will be requirements, and the placement season will hit you like a bullet train, because that time you must be prepared, and this is the best time to upskill yourself, because everyone is virtual. You have a lot of resources to learn, especially like courses from Coursera and Udemy. So it is best to make the best possible situation right now. So that is what, keep upskilling yourself right now, and so that when the placement season starts, and it will start for sure. Obviously, now we are going towards the peak of the recruitment cycles. So there will be available position right now, and the placement situation looks bright. Now, second question: is it a wise decision to do MBA right now? I would say yes, because the situations are getting better for our batch itself. At least the people who are graduating in 2021. So just imagine the students, the juniors who just joined in 2020 and graduating in 2022, because they have to compensate for whatever losses have happened in our batch. So there will be a higher number of requirements in 22, and again, people who are looking into Snap and writing CAT and planning to join by 2021, just imagine the possible requirements at that time. So I would definitely say that it is a right time for doing an MBA, and especially into the technological side, which is a new trend.
So I think if I may just summarize, right, very well said, Vishnu. And if I may summarize, probably the keyword, the takeaway here is upskill yourself, right? If you get the relevant skills, if you can equip yourself with the relevant skills, probably there are a lot of opportunities available as in market. As Vishnu pointed out, a lot of opportunities even in LinkedIn, right? But you need to have the relevant skills, and for that, you need to make sure that you actually do training, certifications, courses, whatever, but make sure that you get the relevant skills. That's point A. And second point, what Vishnu was pointing out is probably the pandemic will end at some point, and probably we have already seen the worst of it. So from here onwards, it is just going to be a recovery phase. And if you are looking at the recovery phase, probably, and not probably, I think most certainly, things will only improve from here, right? And if you are looking for an MBA, it's 2021 batch that you will enter into an MBA, and then 2023 is when you graduate. So 2 years is a long time, and I'm sure that the world will be a much better place 2 years hence, right? Yes. And yes, one more data point. A lot of you might be thinking that MBA is probably, this is not the right time to do an MBA. But if you look at data, the number of aspirants who have filled up the CAT form, the number of aspirants who are filling up the SNAP form, or for that matter, any other B school form, right? The number of aspirants, that gives you a fair idea. And that there hasn't been a drop. There hasn't been a significant drop. That still shows that MBA is as lucrative as it was probably a few years before, and it would be a few years hence. Yes. Okay, so Saud and Vishnu, right? The next thing in everyone's mind. So Saud, I'll ask you first. Uh, it's a gloomy world. It's a pandemic. Jobs are being cut. Workers are being laid off, and you turn up with a PPO, a dream situation. Now, what are the things that you actually do differently, okay, or you did differently rather, or what are your tips to future summer campus placements so that they too can end up with a PPO? What would be your piece of advice to such students?
So, first of all, the obvious thing is doing the tasks that are allocated to you by the management to the fullest, giving you 100% to them, completing them on time. These are small skills that people usually, if you're in B schools, you're primed to do that anyway, respecting deadlines and such. On top of the tasks that are assigned to you, I think the important part is taking initiatives and not restricting yourself to a department or a bubble. Suppose you are in a sales role in a product company, do not just restrict yourself for sales. If you see a feature, if you think of a feature that would help, let's say, the user journey, point that out to the team. This shows that you are taking ownership of the company, and that you're taking the company seriously. And basically, it shows to the management as well that you're serious about things. So that is one of the key things I would say that differentiates you from doing your everyday task. Of course, luck also plays a factor, but you have to make sure to give you 100% because yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're being humble. Yeah, that's a very humble answer, but yeah, that's a very good answer. Vishnu, the same question to you. A gloomy world around you, and you end up with a dream scenario, a PPO in hand. What are the things that you did differently?
So, I mean, as I think I just want to go in line with what South told, because when we get a work from our, the the heads or, manager, so it is expected from us that we have to complete that work. But then the important part over here is that exceeding the expectations. You should, come out of your shell and ability and, take some work on your own. It is just, accepting ownership. Yeah, I think the people who join MBA, right, on an average year, it's around 23 to 27 years. So we are still young. We are eager to learn, and then this is the best time to learn as much as possible. And apart from that, one more thing, one major quality that we should focus into while interning, or as a matter of fact, while working in any organization, is that we should make sure that our values resonate with the company's values, because if that doesn't happen, then you will be dejected, you will be disheartened, and there won't be a probable growth in that company as well. So that is it from my side. I mean, just doing that, exceeding the expectation, that is the right sentence which I would like to use, because since in this world everyone is a competitor right now, and everyone will be at one stage higher or the other. So the best part is, to stay top in this competition is to take at least one step, or not even one step, two steps higher than what the other people have done. And I think these are the few reasons that got me a PPO. Apart from that, as South told, a little bit of God's blessings and luck. I'm got a PPO for it.
Perfect. That's nice. So yeah, if I may just add, right? I mean, what you have just said is a very interesting answer for all people who are watching this video, right? Both of you obviously said obviously with God's blessings, but apart from that, right? What key takeaways I would say is understand expectations from your different stakeholders. Understand your stakeholders and understand their expectations. And once you understand that, exceed those expectations. That is what is very important. And obviously, you need to take ownership. You need to take ownership, whether you are success or a failure, right? Success or a failure. But yeah, you need to take ownership. Yes, perfect. Okay.
So that was rightly summed up, Parikshit, because everyone in this situation wants a leader, not a normal, an employee. So it's this leadership skill, and at the same time incorporating with teamwork, right? That is what gives you success in any corporate life.
Correct. Very well. Yes, sir. Yeah, teamwork is very important. It's no longer me and I when you join a corporate world, right? It's basically the team that matters. We swim and sink together. I think that's the perfect saying. We swim and sink together. Yeah. Okay. Saud, for you, right? There's something probably even during my MBA or probably even during your MBA, you have got a PPO, and when you joined the B school, you must have thought about, okay, the first and the foremost reason I joined an MBA college is I need a placement, okay, a good job and a good profile. Now that you have got it, okay, now that you have turned, now you have a job, a handsome job in hand. Do you think getting a PPO is the end of an MBA journey, or probably just the start for something more exciting? And that's part A of the question. Is getting a PPO the end of the MBA journey? And part B of my question is, what are your views about the current placement process? Right, there are a lot of your batchmates and probably a lot of students in other B schools are yet to be placed or could be yet to be placed. Right. So, what do you think about the current MBA process? They might not be as lucky as you both were.
So, first, answering the first bit of the question about PPO being the end of the MBA journey, it's definitely not. We signed up here, at least I signed up here for 2 years of growth and not just a job opportunity. So, only the first part has ended right as of now. The whole year is ahead of us. The campus you're seeing in my background, hopefully, we'll get to go there in soon and continue learning, continue building on stuff that I got to know, and continue exploring all these opportunities that we get here. Coming to the part about the placement process, I think now that organizations have primed themselves to the new normal, a lot of organizations like Google, for example, has declared a 2 or 3 years of work from home already, and So companies have already started adapting to the new normal, and as they start adapting, they will start recruiting because the requirement will always be there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll put the same question to Vishnu as well. Were you lucky? Do you think PPO is the end of your exciting MBA journey? And what about your views about the upcoming placement process, right? About the upcoming placement season in B schools?
Okay, I have to go along with the South Mukri because obviously getting a PPO is not the end of an MBA journey. So we just finished our first year, and now we have gotten into a second year, and there's a lot of exposure and learnings to still receive. So, and in fact, when you're coming to people who are not offered a PPO, who are rejected, it's not the end of again the MBA journey, because the final placement season is yet to start. And there might be a situation where they'll be given a very good package, or the students might find their dream job in that placement season. So in that way, the advice I would like to give to future interns also as well is that please do not be dejected that if you do not get a PPO, there are many opportunities. And exactly, as PPO stands for pre-placement opportunity. It is just an opportunity, and we just bagged it. So in the end, there will be a lot of other opportunities available as well. So please do not be disheartened. And secondly, coming to the placement cycle, as Saud told, the situation is getting better. Coming 2 to 3 months, there will be a lot of recruitments and placement hiring that will happen. And this is not just in few verticals; it will be every vertical, like for example, telecom, healthcare, IT, and so on. So please do not be rejected, and you might find your dream job in the placement season. So that is, I just want to give a hope of ray to these people.
Yeah, there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel, as they say, right? Yeah. Okay. Before I move on to my final question, I know that a lot of students or aspirants who are viewing this video live, right, might have a lot of questions. A lot of questions are there, but we would not be actually will not be able to take up extra questions from the audience, right, during this broadcast. It's a very simple reason. Vishnu and Saud are very time constrained. They have a lot of assignments coming up. They're in the middle of a placement process, and their B schools are also running, right? So we are actually glad to have them for this 45 one hour session. So for this particular session, I'm not taking any extra questions from the audience. But yeah, one final question to both of you. So, Saad, my first question goes to you, okay? So, what would be your piece of advice for the upcoming batches, A, okay? And B is, in Unacademy, we also have thousands of aspirants who are writing the SNAP. So, your advice for these upcoming batches and all SNAP aspirants.
So for the upcoming batch of the MBA students, you just have to make sure to keep learning and get a growth. Make sure that you network with your peers, network with your batch, because your batch you will find has a really nice diversity of backgrounds of all different walks of life. You will get to learn a lot from your peers. So make sure to interact and network with them as much as possible. This will be a huge part of your MBA learning. Apart from that, one thing is just be yourself. This sounds generic, but you have to be yourself. Make sure to make your own personal brand, so you can to make your own personal brand, so that you know what's at core for you. Only then will you be able to help others. As far as Snap goes, I think students should utilize all the resources from Unacademy. I think they should be giving mocks. I believe Snaps are near. I think like 15 days or so are left. So they should be utilizing and giving as many mocks as possible, so that they score as much as possible, and hopefully they get good scores, and if they are able to get into SIDTM and other such colleges.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, we all hope that. Yeah, Vishnu, the same question goes to you as well, right? What would be your piece of advice for all upcoming batches and also for thousands of students who are writing the SNAP this year?
Okay, I've already told this before. These are the two major words that you should be looking into. It is upskilling yourself. Right now, every day is a competition and everyone is your competitor. So the world is moving in such a fast pace. So you should be updated with the relevant technology, the relevant mergers and acquisitions. Be updated with the latest technology. So that is why I'm telling you that you have to really focus on upskilling yourself, doing relevant certifications. And then secondly, in terms of Snap, I think again only 1 more month is left. The best thing to do right now is practice, keep taking 3 to 4 mocks daily, so that in a way, you at least get to know the type of questions that you get in your Snap test. Now there is no use of learning something new. It is just keep practicing, and at the same time, whenever you're getting an error, focus on how you solve that problem. Give some time for problem solving. So in this way, keep practicing so that you will get used to the format. And then finally, just a day prior to it, do not focus on any tests. Just keep yourselves calm and composed, and then just have a casual conversation with the friends, go out, and have a very good sleep. So in this way, I guarantee you that if you do that 99% of hard work, that 1% luck will fall in its place. So in this way, you can do very well in your staff, and I just hope that everyone wants to be a future techno managers and obviously join SIDTM. We would be really happy for this.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Saud and Vishnu. Thank you so much. It was actually a delight talking to both of you. I think there were a lot of key takeaways, right, from this session for a lot of aspirants who are viewing this session. We talked about a techno manager, a future techno manager, right? We talked about niche skills like technical marketing. We talked about AI. We talked about digital, right? So some of the very niche skills probably which you don't get to hear in your day-to-day term, or probably you keep hearing this finance and marketing, but inside marketing or inside finance, there are also a lot of niche areas. And this is where Symbiosis SIDTM Pune offers you, right? Very niche areas. So Saud and Vishnu, thank you so much. It was a delight talking to both of you. Thank you. And to everyone out there, I think there were a lot of learnings from this session. Any final
Thank you
words?
so much, Parikshit. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you as well. And apart from that, wish everyone happy and prosperous and a safe Diwali.
Yes. Thank you so much. And yes, happy Diwali to all of you, and stay safe, and keep upskilling yourself, as the two successful people out here, right, correctly pointed out. Keep upskilling yourself. 99% hard work and 1% luck will follow you. Thank you. Until the next time we meet again, stay safe. Goodbye. Thank you.
Much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.